Hey everyone, and welcome back to Master Site. Today I will have my game one of 2025 Masters. For those that don't want spoilers, too bad. This will be my first game of my path to victory at the 2025 Masters. So I believe this may be the first time ever that you're going to be able to see a battle report of every game that a winner from Masters has done. So I'm excited. Hopefully, you guys are excited. Let's go ahead and just jump right into it. So, my round one opponent was Blake Norton from the Pacific Northwest, and he was playing Salamanders. So we're going to go through his lists and then jump into the game. Blake was this was the first year Blake was playing at Masters. He had played at, I believe, two other Best of the Rest, one in Seattle and the one at Omaha as well. But he qualified and played this year at Masters. So um, his buddies were giving him a pretty hard time. I believe Blake's out of Portland, so it's from. These aren't my words; these are the people I've talked to. Mostly Ryan Munsell has said these are the brown bag boys from Portland that will, literally just go to a tournament, bring their own brown paper sack lunch, and make it as cheap as possible. But yeah, it was. It's great to see new faces and also be able to play against them, even if I've maybe met Blake before at those other events. So, yeah. So his Salamanders list starts off with a regiment of ancients. He has two hordes of ceremonial guard, a horde of tyrants with sharpness, two regiments of scorchwings, a horde of rhino cav, three ember sprites, an ancient phoenix. He has a mage priest with Bane Chant 3, and two battle captains on rhinosaurs, one with slashing, the other with inspiring. Brings him to 14 drops, 28 unit strength. And only one of those drops is not scoring in the mage priest, so 13 total scoring. So this was the beginning of the event, which was when Trav and I landed in Reno at midnight, which felt like 2 a.m. for us. And then we shortly went and hit the craps table after this with Jeremy Duvall and won way too much money on the first night. So it was a great start to a already awesome weekend. Um, so here is Blake. That is I will say normally I'm not known for great pictures, but man, I believe that could be a portrait for a nice oil painting, maybe even just a high quality LinkedIn profile picture. I don't know, man. Maybe he's just that gorgeous that I was able to take a good picture of him because damn, you're about to see some blurry pictures of this game. Sorry. So yeah, we are playing Stockpile, and this is our deployment here. So the stockpile tokens, I believe I placed the first token, so I placed one over here on the left in such a way that Blake could not place another one on the left, so he placed it as close as he could over to the right hand side of the center. Blake's deployment here, he's got already scouted with the Ember Sprites. He's got one of the Ceremonial Guard hordes. He has the Blade of Slashing Battle Captain, Ancients. He has Mage Priest in here, another horde. Both the, like I said, really bad blurry, sorry. Both the other sprites. He has the Ancient Phoenix back here, Tyrants, Rhino Cav, inspiring Rhino character, and both Scorch Wings behind. I have a horde of scarecrows on the far flank with I believe this is the Jesse Boots Soul Flares. Butcher that is able to go run up onto a token turn one. Blade of Slashing Dreadfiend. I have a triple stack, which I believe this is the Blood of the Old King. Could be. I've forgotten, and we're using my tokens that I normally mark the unit with. So this is my Portal of Despair. Throughout the games, you're going to see this orange card. This is what I'm using as my identifier for inspiring from the portal for the entire weekend. So another triple stack, which for those that may not know what I mean when I say that, it's just scarecrows followed by either tormentors and soul flares behind. All of those are directly behind one another, keeping leader points exactly the same, which allows me to charge and push units whichever direction needed if they charge into the scarecrows. So then I have both my Mind Screeches with a Butcher in the middle, regiment of Scarecrows with the last Tormentor troop, and the Hexcaster, or not Hexcaster, but Hex Dreadfiend out here on the far right. And yeah, so we are going into turn one. Blake does get the top of turn one, which is good for him. He does not. He opts not to pick up any tokens, which his Ember Sprites definitely could have been positioned to do so, but um, yeah, I'm not sure why he didn't start off with picking up tokens, but he positions in such a way to get some shots with those Ember Sprites, so maybe he's valuing the shooting over that. And yeah, he pushes up, brings his Rhino character out, understands that he doesn't have anything to guard that side of the flank of this unit. Um, I do think with what's out here, these three units trying to control these tokens when I have as many as I do, I think is a little bit overzealous. And I'm going to look to try and pressure that. He does have his Ancients pushing up into the middle, which is obviously the best unit to have three tokens on for him. So well played in that regard. And then everything else just kind of moved up like so on this side. He has a one unit of Scorchwings position to stop my Dreadfiend from getting around and running past. But yeah, we'll see if that's going to stop us. He does with shooting a couple wounds here, a couple wounds there. He was limited on certain things that he could see with terrain and also with ranges. So not a whole lot to speak of with the amount of wounds there. So, but my turn one, I go ahead and start pushing forward aggressively on the left. And then you will see also aggressively on the right here, at least on the right flank, and then reposition a little bit more over here. Try and keep it, yeah. We're going to try to push our advantages before we press any further into this hefty center piece between these two. So yeah, on the left, I run forward, angle the butcher, and pick up a token. I have him angled in such a way that if he charges me, he's going to hit this for difficult terrain. I didn't go over terrain. This is a flat or height 1 piece of difficult terrain. This is a forest. So, and then over here, that's a forest, I believe, and then the pond is our other flat. So, apologies for that, but clarification is he can see me here, but he's angled to where you can't see the butcher. Um, so yeah, I have him my butchered angled in such a way that his horde is going to hit this piece of terrain, or if he uses this to block off that terrain and push him this way, it's still going to overhang far enough to touch this woods. So he's either going to block himself out of a charge entirely, or he's going to be hindered, which 30 attacks on 5s and 4s isn't that scary to a butcher. But we also angled in such a way that we're going to have some line of sights and nastiness coming at him if he does come into me. So, yeah. And then on the right, the key thing over here is this Dreadfiend's going to be a nuisance. And by that, he is out of front arc of everything except for this unit. But you'll see I reposition the Mind Screeches here to get clear shots into this regiment. The Dread Fiend providing the dread, the Lightning Bolts providing the damage. I believe we got 5 wounds, which is 1 above average. And it's very close, but this base is deceptively it's deceptive. His unit is actually just outside of 6 inches here. Um, so that yeah, that's going to be a problem because we pick up the unit, and now that Dread Fiend is he's not going to be pleasant for the rest of the game. So, but yeah, that was our movement. I purposely stayed out of charge range of like rhinos, the horde, things like that. For at least this next turn, or maybe I didn't. I stayed out of most things with that, but so this is his turn here, and these are the charges. So on the left, he positions his Ember Sprites to just put their leader point in the forest, and he's able to charge. He was trying to pick up the token without doing a charge, but realized that it's not possible with the 1 inch rule. So he does charge, and he's able to grab that token from that loot stockpile. On the left, he just comes out to try and protect that unit. In the center, he moves the ancients up onto the stack. And then over here, he does do a charge with his Horde of Ceremonial Guard, and he used the Ember Sprites to block off their flank, which isn't fully blocked off, but it's majority blocked off. He then jumps up onto the hill to do some shooting with the Ember Sprite troop and the Scorch Wings, which are tall enough to avoid cover from the troop. And then he just moves forward a little bit here, staying out of charge range of me. And his captain is looking towards the Dread Fiend. So yeah, I did not get a picture of it, but results was the butcher survived. The horde of scarecrows did not, though. So he did extremely well with that and picked it up. Shooting was nominal. Actually, I believe shooting was important. He shot at the soul flares here, and I believe he wavered the soul flares this turn, which is not nothing. I don't think they really had great options, but yeah, I don't think they were going to get an angle into like this flank or anything. So, but it's annoying not being able to use them. I do have to then protect them a little bit, which is what the butcher's going to do here. So, but on the left hand side, yeah, we got some flanks. So let's go back real quick here. You'll see his positioning. This side is sticking out so far that we can draw line of sight in that way. And because of the slight angle, his front arc is actually boop, and it's just barely enough to be a flank. Um, I'd like to say I do something like that on purpose. He actually blocked off his own unit and pushed it over that far in order for that to happen. Otherwise, you know, I didn't really do anything special, spectacular there. My thought was just to hold up the unit, kill everything else around it, and then flank on the next turn. But since we have a flank this turn, we're going for it. I am charging the character in the front, which isn't going to result in a kill likely, but he doesn't have inspiring out here. This is his inspiring source. The other captain on the other flank is the inspiring one. So this is J Boots. I decide to pop him. I'm going to give it a try to pick up the unit here. I also drop the token from the butcher when he before he declares his counter charge, and then allows for the unit that I want to hold him, the scarecrows, to do so. In the center, oh god, in the center we block up his horde with charges. I charge the troop of Ember Sprites first, and then it's a hinder charge into Ancients. Sixes on sixes. What could go wrong? We're just there to hold him up because I'm hoping to kill some stuff here and look straight at his flank for the next turn. Center Butcher has to, do his job and protect the stuff behind him. And then the Tormentor troop that was sitting here was able to get a flank onto them, so we're going to do that. And the regiment even had a flank, or no, regiment charged the Scorch Wings, so there's just enough space for that. Yeah, so that leaves our scarecrows, or sorry, our mind screeches in such a precarious situation where they don't really have good shots, but there is an ancient phoenix here. Um, we might be able to get lucky and then get a waiver, and maybe he can't heal. Maybe he doesn't shoot us then with his fire sparks. I don't know. We really don't have good options because of stuff on this hill, so we're just going to take what we have. I do maneuver closer to the center because my Mind Screech was getting shot earlier, and I want the Radiance of Life to benefit them. So that's why they're kind of moving in an awkward zone here. Otherwise, I would just keep them back. So uh, we do kill the ceremonial guard here. I overrun with the butcher so that way the other units can turn. Do a turn with the dread fiend, and then I just sidestep with the horde. The horde does get the token. Sidestep doesn't hurt me because he can't hit the flank here with his character. And then I actually did not intend to do this, but my soul flares are looking to the left. I I definitely want the soul flares looking towards the middle of the board, but I just simply uh, had a lapse and made a mistake, and everybody does it eventually. But this one was definitely a clear. We don't want to be looking over there. There's ancients to go fight. So yeah, I'm looking towards the left. I realized about halfway through my combats that I didn't turn them the correct way I should have. So that is a mistake for sure. But hopefully, not a terribly big one. So in the center, we're just continue to fight, but we do 3 wounds to his horde here, and yeah, we get boxcars. So you know this game's a lot easier when you roll good nerf, and I hope everybody's able to take that away from anything. If my videos teach you one thing, it's just roll good nerf when you need it. Not that this was a particularly important situation that we absolutely need this or we're going to lose the game. I don't think that's the case, but this is a huge help in that process of winning the game. Is just stop this unit, stop everything else in his army behind him. Between this unit getting stopped and this unit can't fly, it's a it's a bit of a situation for Blake at this point. So our Tormentor troop killed with the flank there and then backed up so that there's no charge angles. Since we know that unit can't charge them. So yeah. And then we do a couple wounds to the birds so they're not flying. Love to see it. Also, I should have mentioned our Dread Fiend is just going to be annoying for the rest of the game and dance around and force people to look at him until they don't look at him, and then he'll charge. So, yeah, so this is the board state and what it looks like for Blake's turn. So on his turn, he just countercharges here, countercharges there, countercharge everywhere, can't do anything here. He double charges the regiment. He continues to try and block. Um, I'm not sure about the positioning here for Blake. I think the best positioning would be just turn this Rhino Captain and look straight at the Dread Fiend. Use your height to your advantage to block off charges to, the key units like the hordes here. These guys on the hill, yeah, I can see the Phoenix is height 6, so yeah, I can see him, but try to block off charges to the key units, which I think are these two. And where he's currently at, he's not blocking line of sight to either one. So I think this was a mistake that Blake could have played a slightly better is the positioning of this character this game. But combat comes and Blake does get this unit. He did do some shooting and cloak of death action, so he went for the troop, which is absolutely the right choice to target, but he failed to kill it. So um, and failed to waver it as well, which definitely helps me out. So, and nothing else of importance happened. So, yeah, it's we had a pretty big turn last turn. I think this is going to be Blake did not, kill enough in response, right? Which he didn't have many opportunities to do so. So I think this is going to be a key turn for us in clutching up this game here. So we did get a flank charge counter to the front charge because, of course, he didn't waver us. Why would he? That's unfortunate for him for sure. Look at these soul flares that are now turning around to look towards the center of the board a turn later than they could have been. Because if they were looking towards the center of the board, they could have double charged in with the Dread Fiend because the Dread Fiend was in the appropriate side to hit the flank of this unit. And who knows, that could have been a dead unit. But instead, our Dread Fiend and our Butcher have to kind of run around. Our Soul Flares are lagging a turn behind. So again, a mistake. It's not going to cost me a game, but it's definitely one that I shouldn't be making. So, yeah, and then our Butcher just kind of goes back in. But the big thing over here was Torment. We're committing on the right flank. Tormentors go in here and here, mostly to just block up the rhinos. We do want to kill there. But the other big thing was yeah, like I said, Blake did not block the line of sight to the tyrants, and those are probably his most valuable unit. With tyrants with sharpness, and they do not like to be touched. And because they're defense 4, we're going to go touch them. So hit a flank with the Dread Fiend, hit a front with the Soul Flares, and shoot some lightning bolts here. I believe we got a waiver. I think that's why I took this picture. Yeah, waiver after 7 wounds onto the Ancient Phoenix. Again, roll good nerve, folks. That's just what you need. We also get a waiver over here, I believe, so not a kill. So again, roll better nerve. We do get a kill though on the tyrants, which is absolutely the best outcome we could hope for. And then positioning ends as such. And I didn't get a picture, but we finished off the other character, and we just did a couple wounds here in the center. Nothing to write home about. So, oh, I forgot to actually roll 1 combat. I did finish off the Ember Sprites, and then I passed the turnover. So this is going into Blake's turn 4, top of 4 here. We are bloodied early. He countercharges the troop. He goes back in. He is wavered. He is wavered. He just turns to look this way, and he was able to countercharge the butcher this turn. He does kill the butcher in one go, which is definitely good for him. It would have not been ideal to be stuck up on that butcher for an extra turn after getting wavered before that. And that was about it. He wasn't even fortunate enough to kill this troop of tormentors that ancients absolutely should be killing. So again, I apologize for blurry pictures. I don't know why. It's just really bad. But this is how it looks now that he's turned to face. There opens up more frontage. So our unit that was here charges in with I don't know if the tormentors might have been wavered or not, but flank charge, front charge there. The other tormentors that were over here just fly over. And then these guys are going to sit here with 2 tokens for the rest of the game. I do maneuver the Portal of Despair in such a way that it can go pick up one of the tokens off the center stockpile. Even if it doesn't hold on to it for the rest of the game, I just want to be able to deplete the stockpile tokens so that way I have the opportunity to get all 7 tokens by the end of the game. I forgot to mention his Phoenix, I believe last turn, had picked up one of the tokens from this stockpile. So that is important for sure. On my turn here, on this side, I chose to go after this horde, um, mainly because I feel like I have control of most other things. So I just threw 3 units into it and said, let's see what happens. You already have 3 wounds on you. So Dreadfiend in the rear, Dreadfiend in the flank, Butcher in the flank. What could go wrong? My Troop of Tormentors had died last turn, but before they died, I believe they did like 6 wounds to this unit. So they're well within the threat range of being able to take them out. So I charge in with the Soul Flares. We countercharge with the troop here. We do kill the Ancients, which is very important for sure. We were able to take that token on that was on this I believe it was over here. This guy was barely touching the corner of it, so our reform allowed us to take another token. I believe these guys have 2 tokens on them now because we took the one from the Ancient. Yeah, the one on the Ancient was stuck on his base. It'll eventually be on this horde here once we realize that in the game. I do kill the Rhinos, which at this point just locks the game down for sure. I've killed the Scorch Wings as well. So, and lucky enough even to kill the horde of Ceremonial Guard. We are, rolling well, getting what we need. I believe I also wavered this guy, or no, I did not waver this guy this turn. Lightning bolts are, doing a lot of damage. He has a lot of big regen rolls plus Radiance Life, and then nothing happens in the end, right? So all Blake has left is his Mage Priest that's sitting back here, who hasn't casted a Bane Chant this game because he's been fighting Defense 3 Slop. He has his Ancient, and he has the Inspiring Rhino Captain. So his Phoenix and Mage Priest charge the Troop Tormentors that were already damaged from his shooting earlier on. Pick him up, and his Ancient charges over here, and he picks that up as well. I skipped a turn of photos here, but essentially, I think I skipped a turn anyway. Because this is turn 6, so that would have been I skipped my 5, his 6, or my 5. I believe I wavered. This guy was shooting, or maybe it was combat. But either way, on the last turn here, I have all the tokens because in order for his Phoenix to have charged this Troop of Tormentors here, he had to drop that token. So he chose to drop it up there. So I picked it up and yes, so I picked it up, I charged in, I did some damage. Yeah, this is his turn. Him charging back in. So I didn't kill the Phoenix on that turn. Now this is my turn 6, and this is where I just full commit into everything. My guys are on the hill, and I say, well, there's one thing not in combat, and that's that little dinky priest back there hiding behind your ancient Phoenix. So why don't I throw some lightning bolts at that guy? And I think I did 2 wounds and rolled a tens twice. And I'm sorry, Blake. I definitely had the good nerve rolls, even though I didn't need them, even though I didn't deserve them. I just got him this turn in this game, and I'm sure it's going to come back and bite me in the ass when I need something even less desirable and don't get it. I'll give somebody else a snake eyes just for you, Blake. All right. But yeah, we kill the individual and then we clean up in the combats, killing the other inspiring source before killing the Phoenix, leaving us with all 7 tokens and 2,300 points of kill. I believe we gave up roughly 700 points, so it is not going to be a maximum victory. It was something like 100 points or 200 points shy of the maximum attrition available. So, 20-point victory coming out of the gate in round 1, which is a very good spot to be in, not only because obviously 20 points is a good win, but in my mind, the army I don't want to see and face is dwarf armies. And dwarf armies are not notorious for getting super big wins like blackjacks, 20s, 19s even. They are very consistent in their 16 to 17 point victories. So So this sort of win allows me to ideally jump up above the dwarf line, and hopefully we just stay there and never have to see any dwarf players because they're filthy and we don't like them here as Nightstalkers. So, but that is our game one. Blake was a pleasure to play against. He was a fun guy. Even with all the dice kind of going my way, he was smiling at the end. It's like, yep, okay, that's good. So he really took it well. Even though I definitely felt bad on a couple of those, getting a boxcars and then a tens twice. Those are definitely things that irk me whenever they happen. But Blake was very much a pleasure to play. So yeah, round one of Masters done. I believe there were two blackjacks that occurred in the first round. So those two players will be playing each other, and we will be playing one of the 5 or 6 other people that got a 20-point victory. Um, and that is our start. I will also throw one thing out into the world, which is of all the Masters events, I have never lost a first round at Masters. So we kept that streak alive, only to say it now and then have it be broken next year. But hey, that's next year's Adams problem. We're taking the win this year. So thanks, guys, for watching the first game. Stay tuned. We will get the rest of them out for you soon. Appreciate you. Have a good night.